Hi everyone, welcome to Nina Cucina. Today I am making a great little appetizer, my Greek lamb meatballs with tzatziki sauce. Now I've got my ingredients for my lamb meatballs right here on my work surface, so let me show you what they are and we'll get started rolling meatballs right away. We've got about 1 pound of grass-fed ground lamb. Now by grass-fed lamb, it has less fat and no genetically modified organisms. And we also have about 1 medium onion, just roughly chopped, and I have here some blended oatmeal. Now blended oatmeal is really simple to make. You just put oatmeal in the blender and you grind it into a fine flour. Now it is a little bit, it's not quite oat flour. It has all the properties that breadcrumbs do, so I'm replacing my breadcrumbs in my meatballs with the oats, making this totally gluten-free and giving it a little bit of fiber. Get all the goodness from those oats. We've got some cumin, got a little bit of cayenne, one of my favorites, cinnamon, great for blood sugar regulation, some sea salt, of course, garlic, and I've got an egg to bind it all together. Now I've got these great sesame seeds. These are really fun. We're going to roll the meatballs in the sesame seeds. I love doing these meatballs for football parties. Then I can do my team colors. I just dye the sesame seeds in food coloring. It's a lot of fun. I did them once for July the 4th. I did everything red and blue. So you can really have a lot of fun with this dish. Let's get started by putting the onions into the food processor. I'm going to do the whole thing in the food processor. We're going to just mince these really finely. Next, I'm going to add my lamb. Get that a good start. I'm going to do a little bit of scraping down the sides here. In with the spices. The cayenne is going to give it just a nice little kick. A little sea salt, the garlic. Now, give that a good spin. Now, give that a good scrape down. You want to move that around the food processor a little bit. Make sure everything is getting evenly mixed together. Okay, now the egg. Now I love eggs, but you have to be careful with them. Always crack your egg into a separate bowl to check for freshness. You don't want to have to throw away an entire pound of lamb because you run into a rotten egg. So that's just going to go in there. One more scrape down. Now we're going to add the oatmeal. I'm just going to sprinkle it all the way around the surface of the meat. Give it a little extra help mixing it in. Okay, let me just get all of my little bowls out of my way. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my meatball mixture right back into the same bowl that the meat came out of. It's a lot easier to handle without this big, mean blade. So let's get that out of there first, because you don't want to run into that. Just scrape it all out. It's all nice and soft and mushy. I'm going to use a mini ice cream scoop. This seems to be the perfect size for a cocktail meatball. You're just going to dip the scoop in, flatten it off against the side of the bowl, and pop that little ball into your hand. Give it a little roll, and roll it in the sesame seeds. Place it right on. Isn't that cute? Look how cute that is. Right on your broiler pan. Now, if your mini ice cream scoop begins to get a little sticky, you can always just dip it in a little bowl of water like this, and it really helps. Scoop into the palm, little roll, into the sesame seed. You can do 4 or 5. Put 4 or 5 into your sesame seed bowl. And then just roll them around. Just place them right in a row on your broiler pan. There, now we've got all of our lamb meatballs on our broiler pan, and they're absolutely adorable. They're all the same size. I'm just going to pop them into a preheated 400-degree oven for 10 minutes. I've just gotten my lamb meatballs out of the oven and they're piping hot, so I'm going to set them aside for a little bit while I make the tzatziki sauce. That'll give them an opportunity to cool so I can handle them safely. So I have all my ingredients on my work surface here. I've got some low-fat Greek yogurt, organic, some garlic, a little bit of lemon juice, some really good olive oil. Don't scrimp on the olive oil for this one. You're really going to notice the difference in flavor in your dip. A little sea salt, some fresh mint that I'm going to add. You could also use dill if you preferred, but I love the flavor of the mint with the lamb meatballs. And I've got some grated, fresh English cucumber. Now I prefer to grate. You can always chop finely if you prefer. I've just set it in a bowl so all of the excess liquids can just drain off while I mix the rest. Now I've got some beautiful crudités here because I'm going to decorate my plate with the crudités. I will tell you that if you don't put the crudités on the plate, you can be guaranteed that no one's going to eat the vegetables. If you put them on, people will mindlessly munch on the crudités and get a little bit of extra antioxidants and fiber. So put them on there. All right, let's get started mixing. Pour the yogurt into a bowl. Just going to go ahead and pour in some lemon juice and start stirring slowly. Pour a little bit more in while stirring. There we go. Okay, let's add the olive oil. I use this sauce for everything. I always have it around. I always have yogurt in the house. I always have cucumbers in the house. So somebody drops by, I can whip up some tzatziki sauce, put out a few crudités. You always have something to feed your guests. Okay, let's dump our garlic in and the sea salt. Now I'm just going to chop my nice fresh mint before I put my cucumber in because I want to give it just a few more minutes to drain. You can see that there is a lot of liquid in the bottom of that bowl. So we're just going to do a couple of tablespoons here. You don't want to overpower the dish with mint because mint is pretty strong stuff, but you do want to give it a nice fresh flavor. Now that mint is really aromatic, I'm going to go ahead and just pop it right into the bowl. Give that a little stir. I love the little green pieces going through that white yogurt. Now I'm going to give this a good shake. Into the bowl it goes. So I'd just like to give this a light stir around. Perfect. Now let's set that aside. Let me show you how I'm going to plate these. I've got a nice big square plate. Let's start by putting some tzatziki in the bowl. The bowl can go right in the center of the plate. So what I'm going to start to do is I'm just going to arrange them on the plate. Look at all that great color. It really adds to the presentation of the dish. Now, don't they look just fabulous? My Greek lamb meatballs are perfect for a football game or any cocktail party at all. Thanks for joining me today at Nina Cucina. I'll see you next time.